to melt away into the atmosphere around us. Sometimes we may like to imagine a bright object there, such as a bright sphere or a bright Buddha image in our center. But the way we imagine such an image should be in the same vein as already mentioned for resting the mind at the center, that is, gently, softly, and continuously, as if we were looking at a commonplace object such as a rose, something we don't bother to stare at, but can just gaze at gently. In fact, it doesn't have to be a rose. It can be any object which we are used to thinking of. Whatever we choose, we should imagine it continuously, in a light and easy way. If we reach the perfect equilibrium in our meditation, we will have a sensation of lightness and expansion at the center of our body. We will find that the inner experience expands outwards. This is the right way of doing things. However, if we have the feeling in our meditation that something is blunt or stressed or narrow or forced, then we shouldn't force ourselves to go further with meditation that feels like that. Better that you open your eyes, then close them to start again. We have to go at our meditation gently, lightly, and patiently, with our mind at a standstill at the center, in a subtle and gentle way, with our mind bright and clear at the center. In the beginning, you may not see very much, but it doesn't matter, because if our mind is simply at a standstill at the center, before long we will have the feeling of lightness and expansion, bringing us a feeling of contentment in our meditation. We'll feel that we'd like to stay with this feeling for a long time. We won't have any feeling of boredom with our practice. If you find that this is how your meditation is going, then there's no need to change your methodology. Because the stopping of the mind is the secret of success. The great abbot of Wat Phak Nam, Prat Mongkon Thepuni, maintained that this stopping of the mind will lead us to progress from the beginning stages of meditation up to the attainment of arahantship. There's no need to analyze or have a mental commentary on your meditation. Don't try to make meditation happen, but allow it to happen by itself. Allow your mind to become peaceful of its own accord. Don't try staring at the center of your body, and don't try using your eyes to see the object of meditation. There's no need to analyze or reflect on what you're doing. Just simply maintain your mind at the center, gentle and in comfort at your center. And if you like, you may repeat the sound of the mantra to yourself. Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang. You can repeat the mantra or not, as you wish. If you find repeating it helps you, it means that you can keep on repeating it over and over again to yourself, until your mind comes to a standstill at the center. Once your mind starts to come to a standstill, then the sound of Samma Arahang, or the mantra, will die away by itself, almost as if you forgot to maintain the mantra. But if your mind is not still and wanders to other matters, then you will need to keep up the mantra. But if your mind is no longer wandering, and there are no more thoughts arising, you can let the mantra die away. You don't need to maintain the mantra anymore. Continue merely by maintaining your mind gently and in stillness at your center. Eventually, spontaneous brightness will arise by itself, continuously at the center of the body, as soon as your mind overcomes the 5 hindrances. As for those who have seen brightness at their center, to the point that it remains in the mind, even though we might lie down to go to sleep at night, sometimes it feels that it will remain bright all night long, bringing us a feeling that we hardly need to sleep anymore. Some people worry about this, thinking that if they miss out on their sleep because of the inner brightness, before long, especially in the morning when they get up and have to go to work, they will be worried they have not had enough rest. Because conventionally speaking, we are told we need 6 or 8 hours of sleep per night. And so, when we have brightness inside, keeping us awake at night, sometimes we are afraid we have not had enough sleep and will look pale and washed out in the morning, lack confidence in decision-making at work. But you shouldn't go thinking like that. Conventional knowledge only works for conventional people. It is only recommended that we need 6 or 8 hours of sleep at night because most people don't sleep very deeply. They spend all night turning over in their sleep, waking and going back to sleep again, and their mind is not really resting when they are asleep. In fact, their 6 or 8 hours of sleep actually doesn't involve very much rest for the mind at all. But this is the norm for the majority of people. But for us, who know the secret of meditation, the case is different, because the nervous system and the mind is already rested by the fact that meditation has relaxed us at a much deeper level. Through our meditation, we feel refreshed, and sometimes, even though we meditate, we may fall asleep for an hour or 2 in a night. In fact, that is ample for the mind that is subtle. We will wake up without feeling need for additional rest. So we have to let go of our preconceived ideas about our sleep needs. There's no need to worry about so-called conventional wisdom. The level of refreshedness from sleeping with brightness inside is superior by a long way to sleeping with darkness inside. If we close our eyes at night to brightness inside, then even a little rest counts for a lot. We will be filled with joy and happiness the whole of the time.